Hello everyone, it's Naris here, and I wanted to thank you all for 400 subscribers. I couldn't have done it without you guys or my amazing boyfriend. I really hope there will be more excitement in the future. I know I don't really do as much good videos, but not much content, but there is a lot going on. At the same time, I will do my very, 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 very best for you guys to make videos that interests you, to like, subscribe. You can unlike if you want. I don't care. Unsubscribe. That's not gonna affect me none. If you don't like any of my videos, you can just you can find other things that interest you. I'm not gonna get upset over that. I don't know who was there back then for my first ever ex-listener. But whoever was there, everyone else, then thank you for your appreciation and support, along with everyone else that has subscribed and watched my videos. Just know, guys, that if you ever want to do something that you dreamed about doing, you have to start at rock bottom. You can't just think, you can't just go on a road and expect things to be done for you. Excuse me. You have to do them yourself. If you don't do it yourself, you're not going to get forward in life. You're not going to meet that special someone. You're not going to get a job, not going to get a car. I'm not saying you guys aren't going to get a car and a special someone in the future. Of course not. I just want you guys to know that if you ever want to achieve anything in life, you have to do it yourself. Of course, with the support of everyone else, your family, your friends, your significant other, close friends, grandparents, your dogs, your cats, even. I love you guys. You guys are like family to me, of course. You are my little pack. And again, I still really appreciate everything you do. So I believe we are on chapter 2 when we last left off. Samuel had returned home from the forest that night, before and found his parents sipping tea with Isaac, an old man of the forest who stopped by their cabin every few months while he was hunting. This time, though, he had news. He carried information about a fight in Lexington and Concord, Massachusetts, where Matilda had fired on and defeated British soldiers. The battle had happened a month before, all the way back in April of 1775. Isaac seemed to be made entirely of scraps of old leather and rags. He was bald and wore a ratty cap with patches of fur that had been worn away. He was tall and thin, and for many years he lived in a cabin some 20 miles to the east. He was so much part of the forest that even his brief visits with Samuel family caused him discomfort. He decided to move farther into the frontier when a wagon pulled by an ox came to the clearing near his cabin. The family was traveling westward, looking for a piece of land to farm, and had chosen a spot not far from Isaac's place. The family was, Isaac said, a crowd, and I knew it was time to move on, seeing as how I don't do particular good with crowds of people. As he was taking his leave from the small shack where he had lived, the family had given him a scrap of paper, soft with wear from all the hands it passed through, so he could share the news with the fellow travelers he met on his journey. They told him of other events they had heard along the way. He tried to remember all the details, but admitted that there wasn't much for conversation. Since there was so much noise from the sprats, as it seemed dozens of them, my thinker fuzzed up like bad powder, and my recollector might not all be it could be. But I think they said there was another fight at a place called Bunker Hill, and the patriot Matilda got whipped there and sent running when they saw the bayonets on the British-shouldered muskets. He sat quietly, sipping the evergreen tea he always carried, a brew made from pine and spruce needles. He swore it cured colds, and he said he preferred it over Ferner tea from the outside. But think he musses. The paper he handed to Samuel's father, Olin, was a single sheet that had been folded and unfolded so many times it was near falling apart. had been printed on a crude press with a wooden block lettering and was smudged and hard to read. But there was a brief description of the fight at Lexington in concrete and a drawing of figures firing muskets and some other figures that were falling to the ground. As Samuel studied the paper in his father's hand, he thought, everything in my world just got bigger. What does it mean? Ebenezer Clark, said Olin. His face was red and round as an apple because he drank home beer 3 quarts every morning before breakfast. It could be local, just some trouble in Boston, Samuel's father said. A riot or the like. There is always a chance of rabid rousing in circles, and it doesn't seem likely that a group of farmers would try and take on an entire British army. He paused, and added thoughtfully, England has the most powerful army and navy in the world, and gaggled of farmers would have been insane to fight them. Likely or not, this is from Lund Harris, a soft-spoken and careful man whose wife Clara sat nursing an infant. If it happens, we have to think what it means for us out there on the edge. Nobody spoke. Samuel could hear the crackle of the fire in the fireplace. In the homey, safe cabin, the craziness of the information from the east seemed impossible. There was always some measure of violence on the frontier, marauding savages, drunks, thieves, evildoers, men who operated outside the walls of reason. Harshness was expected in the wild, but nothing like this, nothing that challenged the established order, the very rule of crown, the civilized that life came from the English way of living. The very idea of fighting the British was too big to understand, too huge to even complete. These settlers had always been loyal to the rules of the land, obedient to the laws of the country that ruled them. Ben Overton stood. He was a tall, thin man, whose sleeves never seemed to come to his wrists. He said, well, I think we should do nothing but wait and see how the wind blows. And with nods and a few mumbles of affirmation, the rest got up and went back to their homes. Not a single person in that cabin could have known what was coming. And even if they had seen the future, they would not have been able to image the horror. I'm going to tell you guys a fun fact. Well, not much of a fun fact. It's a frontier life thing. The only thing that came easy to people of the frontier was land. A single family could own hundreds and even thousands of acres simply by claiming them. If getting land was easily accomplished, using land was a different matter, and had to be cleared of trees for farming. Some oaks were 5 or 6 feet in diameter, and each had to be chopped down by an axe, cut into manageable sections and hauled off. Then the stump was dug out of the ground, often with a handmade wooden shovel. One stump might take a week or two of hard work, and a piece of land could have 10 dozen trees. If a family was lucky, they might find clearing left by beavers, was to log off an area and a dam, a creek, and to make a lake, rounding out all the stumps. When the trees and the food are gone, the beavers leave. The dam breaks down and the water drains off, and there is a handy clearing left where the lake was. And that was a short chapter of chapter 2. I did not expect that to be that short, but this is Woodrunner. I will give you part 3 whenever I am able to get you part 3. But if you guys like it, you can say it in the comments. If you don't, I can stop and try and find something else. But don't forget to like and subscribe. Again, if you don't like my videos, you can happily go. I don't mind at all. You can easily unsubscribe. It does not upset me at all. I just hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Bye-bye, my lovelies.